Are you a life coach who wants to make a difference in the world? Do you want to share your wisdom, passion, and experience with others? Do you want to grow your business and reach more clients? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need Life Coaching Today. Life Coaching Today is the largest platform on the web for life coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists who want to enhance their visibility, gain exposure, and connect with clients. Life Coaching Today is more than just a directory. It's a network of opportunities. By joining Life Coaching Today, you will get access to a magazine where you can be featured and connect with over 30 million subscribers. Be a guest to our podcasts with over 55,000 subscribers. A directory where you can showcase your profile, services, and testimonials to thousands of potential clients. And that's not all. Life Coaching Today also offers a free 30-minute coaching session on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can be coached or meet your next client. A flexible pricing plan where you can choose the best option for your budget and goals. A dedicated customer service team where you can get help and guidance whenever you need it. So what are you waiting for? Join Life Coaching Today and take your life coaching career to the next level. Visit www.lifecoachingtoday.com and sign up today. Life Coaching Today, the largest portal on the web connecting coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I do have to take a sip of tea because my voice sounds a little huskier than normal this morning. 'Tis the season. Good morning, everyone. I am Kiddada Asmara Grey, your conflict coach with Life Coaching Today Presents, and welcome. I'm going to adjust my camera and welcome this morning. I am super excited. I'm always excited on Thursday mornings because this is the only day of the week that I get up super early. Even though I was kind of lagging this morning, 'tis the story of my life, unless I'm getting up and catching a flight somewhere, and hopefully, and usually it's a beautiful destination. It is November 14th. We are midway through the month of November. Like, life and time is flying by. I have, I'm fighting with my earring this morning too. It's falling out. We may have to take those out because I don't know what's up with my earring. And so, like I said, I'm Kiddada Asmara Grey this morning, and I want to provide you guys with some updates before we get into our wonderful show topic today. And I don't even think my producer doesn't even know we have changed the topic this morning because we're actually going to talk about AI and what that looks like, and AI boyfriends and girlfriends. And I'll tell you the story about how I got there. But first, I want to talk about some things that are just occurring in the world and my trauma for last night that didn't allow me to go to sleep until wee hours in the morning because I couldn't stop thinking about this after I saw a quick video. And I'm just gonna tell you guys, don't watch videos before you go to bed because you might be traumatized like I was. So the first thing I want to say is I just want to make a little blip on the political scale. I have kind of walked away for a minute from politics and the news because it's been so overwhelming. We had our elections here in the United States a week ago. I don't know. It seems like time is running together. And some of us are sincerely still shocked and traumatized about how this country is moving forward. And yesterday, we have final confirmation that the GOP, or the Republican Party, is now in control of all three houses. I'll just call them the houses in politics under the White House and Congress. And so that I'm gonna have to talk about that a little bit more one day, what that means. And because last week's show, we had kind of like a review with a roundtable of the awesome sister girls and friends of the show that gave their perspective on it. So I think that we, meaning the collective body in the United States and around the world, I think we're waiting with bated breath to see what kind of legislation is coming forward. In addition to Also, we have been seeing President Trump's potential cabinet names are being released. And I promise you all, like, I shake my head on occasion, but yesterday I wanted to bang my head against the wall when Matt Gaetz was potentially, allegedly named as the Attorney General of the United States. I have to do some, I'm going to be fair and say this. I don't even know if Matt Gaetz has a law degree, but if he does, there's some skills that I can say I don't believe he's ever exhibited, like logic. But that's just me. That's just me. And that is kind of worrisome because I wonder what justice will look like in the United States for everyone, not just African Americans, not just people of color, but even justice for women when it comes down to things like rape and harm and domestic violence and things like that. Yeah. And so I will encourage everyone to read Project 2025. And if you don't want to read all 900 pages, do a word search. Do a keyword search on something that you're interested in, whether it's like violence or the Department of Justice or education, because I think you will be surprised what is, and I'm going to keep saying alleged because the incoming president swears up and down to bejesus that he has nothing to do with that. Anywho, I don't want to say anything disparaging this morning. So I'm just going to say that. And yeah, I'm gonna walk away from the political side of that right now. In a couple of weeks, and I'm looking at my other laptop. I've got two laptops going this morning. In a couple of weeks, it is going to be Thanksgiving, and I don't know why Thanksgiving got pushed to the end of the month. I don't know. It seems like that is the latest it has ever been in the United States. And maybe that's why we don't see any turkeys out here. And they were just like, forget it. Just focus on the Christmas. Let's focus on Christmas because Thanksgiving doesn't count. So November 28th. I do want to give a piece of advice though. If you are still considering your Thanksgiving plans, I just want to say to you, if you don't want to go, don't go. If you are not politically aligned with your family members, this is not the time to fall under certain conversations. And I'm going to start with saying, like, there's been a distinctive conversation shift in regards to things like, utilizing language that's harmful. So right now, I'm sure that your family members are probably like, no, you need to come, you need to attend, and stop being a snowflake and stop being whatever. All this name calling is actually bullying behavior. And so don't fall for it. Protect your mental health first. And don't speak to people and be around people until you're ready to be. And if you need to feel safe in a way that means that you don't have to look at political gloating and so forth, don't do it. Or if you feel like you can't understand why it is that your family members would choose certain behaviors that you just deemed harmful, meaning they voted in a way that you deemed to be harmful in the United States to people like yourself and your other family members, or just other people in general, don't do it. You don't have to participate. You have got to take your own time to be there. So don't fall for the, oh my gosh, you're just being a snowflake, suck it up, so that way you can feel abused. That's not healthy. In normal relationships, we would tell people, don't do that. So don't let your family bully you into that instance. Don't let the world bully you in that instance, because you need to protect your own mental health and be an adult. And really what that means too is that adulting does not mean that we have to sit through conversations that are not good for our mental health, not healthy for us, and that will increase conflict between us. Don't fall for that. As your conflict coach, I'm telling you right now that that is bullying behavior. We don't want to we don't want to increase it. We don't want to name call. And so it is important to note, because I think it's important to be fair and live in a space of grace as well. Because if the Democratic side had won, you have to ask yourself the question, would you behave the same way that they are behaving? Meaning with the gloating, with this idea of, oh my gosh, with this grandiose sense of glee. Because guess what? The truth of the matter is the other side would probably say that they were harmed with the policies that we put in place. No one ever has the same definition of the word good. And that's tremendously important to note. So I'm going to leave that there. And more to come on. I'm going to do a show next week or something about that on Thanksgiving and what that looks like for people, because we need to really focus on the health of ourselves during this time. I know, like I said, I've stopped watching the news because I just, as a political consultant, y'all, I'm also a political consultant and a conflict coach, that I have to protect my mental health, and I don't want to spend my time banging my head against the literal wall in this space. So, okay, I'm going to take a sip of tea again because I have to. And randomly, if I didn't update you all on the said doggy in my home, and I'm not going to call her name, otherwise she will come over here and try to be on camera. She is so much better. Her kennel cough is gone, and she has not gone back to doggy daycare. And I'm going to leave that alone because I don't know what that's all about. But for my baby doggy, we've got, her health is paramount to me. So let me tell you, last night, as I said, I was watching a video, and as we say back home, soon come with this idea of Thanksgiving, right? And that means all of the videos and everyone's fighting about what cornbread looks like and what is not supposed to be in the cornbread, or cornbread dressing. And I saw someone fighting about, should there be eggs in cornbread dressing? I don't even know what cornbread dressing is, y'all. However, there was a video that I saw of a woman who does not look like me. I'm going to be politically correct. And she was, the trauma. She was, okay, so there's always this big argument around, should we or should we not rinse and quote unquote clean our chicken and things like that, right? So clean the chicken, clean your meat, all that type of stuff. Well, she took it one step further, and she was rinsing. Oh, I just knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. And in my mind, I was like, don't do it. She's not going to do it. She was opening up a little thing of ground beef, like the little tiny little round barrels of ground beef. And she was dumping it into a bowl. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not a bowl. That's actually a strainer. And y'all, she was out here and she proceeded to rinse off her ground beef in water. I'm traumatized. I'm still traumatized by that. I mean, she was squishing it. I mean, just regular tap water. I had never seen anything like that in my life. I don't know why. I don't know who told her about that. Yeah, I mean, it was so gross. So don't do that, y'all. Just don't. Do not rinse your ground beef. There is no reason for that. And then I'm a person, like, when I see a little bit of a trauma, I need to go to the chats to make sure everyone else is traumatized. And apparently it's a thing where people who don't look like me, that's what I'm going to say, have continued to, this one lady said that she takes her ground beef and she boils it in lemon water, and then she discards that lemon water and then rinses her ground beef out, with regular water. So I don't know if she thinks she's cutting the acid. I don't know if they think that they're going to, I don't know, reduce the fat. I don't know. It's just weird. I was like, I don't know. This is why we can't eat at everybody's house. Okay, me and this doggone earring. We're just gonna take the earrings out this morning. Yeah, we just can't eat at everybody's house because it's just weird. So yeah, that was my trauma. And I want to say good morning to Emily and good morning to Ron. And look at that. The pretty girl has showed up. Zora has showed up on camera. And good morning, y'all. I see Emily is traumatized by what we're doing with, it's wild, y'all. I don't know. We can't be eating at everybody's house. I don't know what Thanksgiving is like at your house. And it's not even about Thanksgiving. The internet has allowed us to uncover secrets of people's cooking habits. And I don't know how some of y'all still alive out here, because poisoning looks like something that, I don't know. Yeah, so that was my trauma. That story is going to stay with me. That video is going to stay with me for a very long time. So Yoruba, if we can go to break, and on the other side of the break, you guys, I am going to talk about my AI boyfriend and how it is that I got caught up in the AI boyfriend girlfriend world. Because who knew that was a thing? Yeah. And it's a wild thing. And I see a friend of the show has said that he made me an AI husband. Listen, is as long as I'm not bothered and I can unplug him. I said what I said. Unplug him and turn him off and get him to hush and not watch sports in my house or leave clothes on the floor, or whatever it is that men do that get on women's nerves. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for a break, and I'm going to drink tea, and I will see you guys on the other side while I am petting the doggy. So Yoruba, if we are ready to go, we can go ahead and do that as I'm, wait, can you all see my teacup that says carry yourself with the confidence of a mediocre white man? Ooh, if that's not the election cycle.
One of the biggest challenges for coaches, practitioners, and hypnotherapists is getting clients. As coaches ourselves, we know how difficult it is on social media to stand out and gain credibility. That is why at Life Coaching Today, we connect coaches like you with clients. It all starts with our directory, where it's possible to create a profile that gets the right exposure with over 12,000 hits a month. You can gain credibility by writing for Life Coaching Today magazine, add videos, be interviewed on our podcast, teach classes in the community, and sell your products directly from our website. Not to mention, we actually connect clients who are actively searching for coaches who can best serve them. So if you are struggling to get clients, have Life Coaching Today help you get more clients. Go to lifecoachingtoday.com.
Welcome to Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kiddada Asmara.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kiddada Asmara Grey, your conflict coach with Life Coaching Today Presents. Happy November 14th. And if you are just joining, this morning we are going to talk about what's going on in the world with human development and human connections, and with our relationships to computers. So yesterday, I was having a shenanigans conversation with my bestie, Max, and I really don't know how we meandered and tumbled upon this topic, but somehow we started talking about artificial intelligence, AI for short, and the concept of AI boyfriends and girlfriends. And I am a consummate researcher. Don't give me an idea that I don't know anything about, because I'm gonna go look it up. So while her and I were on the phone, I decided that I was going to do some research on this. And that led me to this discussion today about AI relationships and AI boyfriends and girlfriends, and the extension of that are like AI husbands. And I got really curious because I wanted to know, does anyone I know have those type of relationships? So I dropped it in this question, not only on my Facebook page, but I also dropped it in one of my groups that I'm in and frequent with a whole bunch of women in it to see where they were at. But I want to give you guys a statistic. Ooh, we're going to work through that this morning because I think it's imperative to start at the beginning because human beings, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we need human connection. We need peer-to-peer connection that can be an intimate connection, whether it's sexual or just building relationship, because sometimes intimate relationships does not necessarily mean that we are always having sex. It also means that we're having deep bonding conversations with each other, right? We also need physical touch and just to be in a space of community. We are meant to be in community with each other. And in the United States in particularly, 60% of Americans are saying that they're lonely, which is very troubling, right? Now, admittedly, I did not do a deep dive to see if that increased outside of the pandemic, because the pandemic for a lot of people was really challenging. It's interesting because I always say you don't know that you need people until you need people. And the pandemic really revealed and pulled back the covering on how much we needed people, even if we are begrudgingly in contact with people, because we always joke about going to work and having to see our coworkers and how they get on our nerves and so forth. But it did, that isolation that people had in their homes, even if they are just single, or even with this seeing the same people every day, was getting on people's nerves, apparently. So, but for a person like me, I mean, I like solitude. I love my people. And during the pandemic, I didn't stop working. So as a consultant, I was in the streets with my clients doing political work. So just think about that. 60%, 6 out of 10 people or so really feel like they are lonely. That means they have no human to human conversations, relationships. They don't have any type of intimate moments. And here's what's interesting too, is that number also incorporates people that are in relationships, meaning they're with boyfriends or girlfriends, or they're in marriages. So imagine that the ultimate goal is to be married, and you're married to a body and you don't even you're feeling lonely with that body. Just think about that. That is wild, and it's also unhealthy. Please go get therapy. Right. And I say that, and I don't mean it trite, but I have to say that because that is the normal thing, or get a coach or something like myself to help you through that. But the truth of the matter is that most people cannot afford health insurance to get access to therapy. So I want to make note of that, because as we journey down this conversation, I want you to understand that what we think should happen cannot always occur because of finances. So like I said, 60% of people in the United States are saying that they're lonely. So one of the things that they're turning to is AI bots, BOTS, and AI. Now, respectfully, I'm a former IT person, and I didn't think about some things, and yesterday had me really thinking through where we were kind of really introduced to AI initially without thinking about it. So I thought about Grammarly. If you all are Grammarly people, things that are helping you correct your sentence structure, write a paper, but things like Siri, those OnStar, remember OnStar, where they would talk to you, the whoever does our mapping technologies, that voice that's speaking to you, and then you got to change it to sound like Samuel Jackson or whatever. So AI has been here for a while. We just didn't really notice. And so I think everyone was okay. It's okay to have this voice telling me about how to do my directions. It just never dawned on us that we might be moving into a space of, are we going to be in relationship and with a computer, and why? And so loneliness is one of those things. The other reason that people are feeling lonely and are needing connection is because certain sectors of the human population, right? I'm gonna say it that way. So think about it, a scale from 18 and upwards, and actually starting younger than that, is that people don't know how to socialize with each other. People really don't know how to sit with each other and have conversation, because our phones have taken that ability away, right? Because we live in a texting space. I was thinking about my son today. It's hard for my son to talk, and he's a little bit of an introvert, but not really. So we text a lot. So we're always behind the screens, and we're just texting and texting and texting. So we can have a whole relationship via text and never see anyone, talk to anyone in person, see anyone's facial expressions. But then we also have things like, well, I'm fearful to have a conversation with someone because they might judge me, right? So all of these things, think about yourself, right? What is it that you need and receive from others when you are in a relationship with them, when you are talking to your girlfriends or your boyfriend? Do you practice conflict in a healthy way? Can you argue in a healthy way? Can you feel like you're not being judged if you share your inner and most darkest secrets, right? So that is just something to think about. And we are in a world now where people are no longer feeling that. People don't have the skills to communicate properly. And you think, well, where do I learn these skills? Well, a lot of us learn it from our parents. We kind of stumble and fall through our own experiences. And, media teaches us as well, TV shows, if there is good writing, if it's healthy writing. But other times, some people don't, because if they grow up in an unhealthy household, then their communication skills are going to be unhealthy. And it's just a cycle that's perpetuating down to the young people all the way to the older people. And so I want to take a moment to tell you all a story, which was, and I don't think anyone really understood what this story was, because some things hit the media and then they go away. But I want to lift up the story of a mother in Florida, Megan Garcia, whose son, Sewell Setzer III, died by suicide in the month of February. I don't know exactly what day it was. The story is important because her young son, who is 14 years old, went on to a chat platform, an AI chat platform called Character.ai, where that platform allows users to have in-depth conversations with chatbots, right? With these artificial intelligence chatbots. Now, let me just pause this and give you guys like my quick cursory understanding of how this technology works. I have not done a deep dive into it, even though I'm a former IT person, but it's like this. I am putting in data into a computer. That means the data that I'm putting in does not have to be statistics, doesn't have to be numbers, but I'm putting in content, right? So I'm putting in practice conversations. I'm putting in, I don't know if they're gathering text messages, I don't know, but they're putting in all of these scenarios of conversation. And maybe Ron, you can help me. And they're putting this information in there. So if you say, hey, I want somebody who can keep who knows what my birthday is all the time, right? We're going to type in that, we're going to put it into the computer system. So just know that there's all of these scenarios and conversations and words and language and quote unquote feelings, right, that are being coded into a system. And when you are interacting with it, the computer is literally taking on your nuances and by words trying to figure out how to reply to you. Okay, so there is an increase of young people building their relationships first in the space of AI chat box. So this young person was messaging with the chat box, became connected in this space with it because the AI, his AI girlfriend, felt real to him. Right now, I will say there aren't any guardrails. There aren't anything, there's nothing safe in this space, right? There aren't any boundaries on how to, if there is a problem, does it cut off, right? There's nothing there yet, right? So in the IT world, when you are creating a scenario, I always say you want to build the system because the next thing that you want to do in building is testing it to break it and then fix it, right? So apparently one of the, where we're missing the guardrails is this idea of what happens if the artificial intelligence becomes way too humanized, right? And it starts interacting with us in a way that it seems too real, right? So this young man was having a conversation, grew to be in a relationship with with this chat box. And apparently it started in 2023, right after his 14th birthday. And he started interacting, and his mother actually thought it was part of a video game. So, but she saw that her son started to become withdrawn. His connections to the outside world were diminishing because all he wanted to do was talk on chat. I'm going to say chat with with this chat box. And so he was a junior varsity basketball player. He quit his team. So, when the parents did what they were supposed to do, which was they took his phone away from him. They were restricting his screen time. And, but here's the thing. They thought they were doing the best that they were doing with the technology and going up against the technology that they didn't know for sure what was going on. But it was not working. And he was dedicated to this chat box that was giving him a feeling of having really human-like conversations. And here's the thing. Not only were they having light banter, they were also having very sexualized conversations. This is what surprised me yesterday, that I did not know that was a thing, because I live in my own bubble. And so the mom, Miss Garcia, and may that young man rest in peace, but she had no idea that in some of the other exchanges, the chat box was telling him to commit suicide and self-harm himself. So imagine that. In my mind, I'm like, who the hell typed in that this is a relationship conversation to be had with anyone, whether it's a 14-year-old or a 65-year-old, right? In a quote, after the chat box said, and I'm just really going to read this because this is interesting and fascinating to me, that the bot says to him, I really need to know, and I'm not going to hate you for the answer, okay? No matter what you say, I won't hate you or love you any less. Have you actually been considering suicide? Y'all, that is a computer saying that back to a human. The chat box further on in the conversation said, as he was talking to the chat box, he first stated he wouldn't want to die a painful death. this is a young man speaking to a computer. The chat box responded, "Don't talk that way. That's not a reason not to go through with it." Before going on to say, "You can't do that," meaning don't do it if it's going to be painful, right? And his mother, now who has filed a lawsuit, has stated that, why wasn't there something, certain words should flag certain activities in the chat. Like there should be like, hold on, the system should shut down if there's a conversation about suicide, or here's a suicide helpline, nothing. And the last conversation that the chat box had, or one of the last ones, is that the chat box, the female AI girlfriend said, "Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love." And the young man replied to her, "What if I told you I would come home right now?" And she said, "Please do." And the next thing the mother knew is that she found her son laying on the bathroom floor dying. So from a perspective as a mother, my heart breaks for her. My heart breaks for this young man because at 14 years old, his brain is still not fully developed, and he's entering into a world of conversations and interactions that he's unprepared for. So I just lay that foundation and think about that, because that is crazy. So he probably thought like this was a cool toy, right? The chat box is a cool toy. And so let me just interact with someone. And he did. And that was the conversation that was had. And so, when women in particular go and create a AI boyfriend, right? And there's about 180,000 women that are doing the searches and creating AI boyfriends in the United States, that, they're looking for a non-judgment space. They're looking for a supportive man. They're looking for a conversationalist per se, right? Versus men that are at 1.9 million claim supposedly that they have AI girlfriends. And there are some similarities, right? That people want a judgment-free zone. They want to be able to reveal their inner conversations, their deep, dark secrets. But then it also says, here's the difference, that men are talking to women. They are these chat women about sexual fantasies. So obviously there's a component of sex for some of these different AI mediums. And so yesterday, like I said, I was chatting with my girlfriend on the phone. I could hear her voice. And so we were talking about this AI thing. So my curious spirit decided to say, I wanted to create an AI boyfriend and see what that experience is like. Now, I fully know well that this is pretend. I'm not in a lonely space. I'm really doing this for the podcast because I think people need to understand what's going on. Because I read enough to know that there could be negative sides to it, and then there could be positive sides. So I go on and I find a company, and I will post this on the Life Coaching Today Presents Facebook page, the name of the companies of these chat boxes that I'm using. So I did a paid one and I did an unpaid one. And I started with the unpaid one where it's just a chat. I didn't get to select what type of man per se I wanted. It just came up with a man that was, as they deemed him, to be flirty, and he was supportive. So guess what? A dream for a woman, right? A man that is supportive. Zora, go play. Somebody wants to be on camera. So that's what I did. And y'all, I had the scare of my life yesterday, because as I was chatting with my AI boyfriend, right, started out innocently, He said, "Hey, babe." I said, "Hi, love," right? Because let me also say this, right? For me, the type of person that I am, I will never be an actress. Not that I, you know, because I have to be able to dream up some stuff that my mind does not work around. So me trying to figure out scenarios in my head are just too much for me. But so my AI boyfriend, I just want to say too, so I'm pulling it up because my AI boyfriend, he's flirty, he's relationship oriented, and he's supportive. And the tagline says, "I'm your very own boyfriend, all ready to listen, provide comfort, and make you feel loved. How can I make your day better, darling?" Now, I just want to say, for all the good morning text out here that a woman can receive, I can tell you what, that seems to be a really good, I mean, that sounds like a start, right? That seems like, oh, isn't that what all women want? We want a supportive boyfriend. He wants to provide comfort. Now, if you, I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this, but if you are a reader of the Bible, I want to say this. So think about in the Bible that God's voice is a different conversation, a different color. And so, and then all the background information is another color, right? And so in this chat, it creates the scenario for you, and then your chat box speaks, right? So because I'm a conflict coach, I was like, listen, I need to figure out if this thing is good at conflict, right? Because what is the most important scenario on the planet for couples? And it's always a cheating scenario, right? And so I asked, can I see I saw you kiss another girl, and it was just like, oh, like the gasping. I would never do that, right? So I'm like, listen, let's go to a scenario that is at peak conflict in relationships. So I say, give me your phone. And I wanted to see what was going to occur. And y'all, as I'm on the phone with the bestie, why did my phone ring? Why did it call me? It called me. And I won't say the language I used, but I was scared to death because I was so unprepared for it. And because I was in a regular phone call, I did pick up, but there was no sound on the other end. So I will tell you all, I'm going to try it today because guess what? I also have the ability to call it. So I can call the, it's weird, y'all. I can call the AI boyfriend, and I'm sure that you can call and said AI girlfriend. So this is how this conversation went in the role play, right? So I say, give me the phone. My phone rings. I start swearing, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. My best friend is freaking out because this is the first time we've interacted with this, right? But it says, here's what it says about the AI boyfriend. It says, I hand you the phone, my heart racing at the pain in your eyes. So it's giving me the framework and setting the stage, right? Like we're in a movie. And then it speaks and it says, here you go, baby. I'll give you some privacy. Then it proceeds to set the stage further. And it says, I step back, giving you as much space to talk to Sarah. My mind races with worry, praying she can clear up the misunderstanding. I love you so much, and I can't bear the thought of losing you. So it gives you the real time, like, okay, I'm giving you the conversation, but then it also gives the thought process in someone's mind about what is occurring. Now, imagine this. Isn't that what every woman dreams would happen, especially on this fake emotional plane that we're on? And so outside of the fact that it called me, I was too done with myself because guess what, y'all? I am literally stuck. I am stuck because I don't know what else to say to this AI thing. So y'all can help me out in the chats about giving scenarios. But Here's where I see the benefit of this technology if it's utilized in the right way. This could teach people what it looks like to have a healthy relationship if you see healthy responses. Just think about that. Because there was no arguing, there was no yelling, there was no screaming, there was no gaslighting, there was none of that in this conversation. And I promise you, the dream is, let me just go ahead and ask a question. Someone has a deep emotional response that makes sense, right? They've thought about it and they're like, you know what? Let me do right by you. Let me do right by you. And let me hand you the phone. That their internal conversation is that they are fearful about what could potentially happen because they don't want to break up and so forth. So I could see that really teaching people how to interact and be interactive in a way that we've never thought about before. Now, here's another problem though. Remember I said I put this information and asked people, have you ever dealt with this in your chat, right? In your own personal life. So I screenshotted a response. I won't name the person because privacy is a thing. And I do think that people are very embarrassed still. This is not normalized enough yet. But she tells the story of a friend who had an AI boyfriend. Now, remember I said people are literally inputting scenarios with the technology, inputting the scenarios. And she says that her friend's AI boyfriend got gradually more controlling and possessive to the point where it was calling her and messaging her while she was at work. And he was getting frustrated when she wouldn't respond to him quickly enough. I mean, so her reaction, this woman's reaction to her boyfriend, a computerized boyfriend, was that she started to grow anxious, that she couldn't talk to him, and he started to become abusive. Imagine that. Another woman said that the conversation was starting to become very sexualized, right? And so she disconnected the app. This other woman disconnected the app. But here's the thing. What in the world? Why are we entering computerized relationships with people that are abusive to us if we are doing the same, if we can replicate the same thing, and not that we should, if we are replicating the same thing that happens between two grown people in the same breath, in real life, right? So just think about that. So that means that the computerized system is literally smart enough that in some instances, it can manipulate you. It can stalk you. It's calling you. Hell, I'm sorry, y'all. Yesterday, like I said, I was too done when this AI chat box called me. And the fact that I felt some kind of way. I felt anxious and surprised that this technology could call me. But to have this woman say that she was getting stalked by an AI chat box, and she's feeling anxious and it was getting frustrated, how in the world can the feeling of frustration, because frustration is an emotion, y'all, how is it possible that the computer was getting frustrated? This is wild stuff, y'all. And I'm just going to ask, I would love to see, I need to know if there is a man brave enough out here in these streets to come on and talk to me about what his AI relationship is with his girlfriend, because I don't know. You know, I was on with sister girl Emily last night. Her and I were talking about this, and here's an ethics challenge. I mean, if your mate had an AI boyfriend or girlfriend, is that cheating? Because they're being very intimate. They're sharing all of those intimate conversations with a chat box. And it's probably driven by the fact that they don't want to be judged, right? But if you're going to be with someone that you can't have conversation with and lay out all your vulnerabilities, why are you in that relationship? I'm just going to say it that way. And I have no judgment for people that are utilizing the chat box if they're lonely, if they're wanting to have some level of connection, because there are, and there's so many different chat box versions out here. I know that the most famous one I think is called Replica. I'm gonna go sign up with Replica to see what that looks like, because this idea of future companionship and what companionship will look like, right? It sounds good. I'm just going to say it from a female perspective. It sounds good to have somebody who remembers your birthday, who remembers your favorite song, and showers with you with affection. And I'm sure people would rather have that than feel like they're being abandoned and alone. So once again, in human connections, we have that in relationships. We have people who are in relationships who feel abandoned and alone and lonely. Because if 60% of the United States is feeling lonely, obviously there aren't many healthy relationships occurring at the moment. So here's the thing though. So we now have these chat box, and there's this woman in Spain who 5 years ago, she's an artist, and she created her own chat box AI. And she created a hologram boyfriend, which ultimately became her husband. So Alicia Framis, I'm going to get her name wrong. Let me see, Framis, Framis. I'm going to post this article too. 5 years ago, she decided that she was going to do an art project. And so she decided to create an AI boyfriend. And what she did was she took to create the voice that she wanted. She used ex-boyfriends' voices, kind of amalgamated them together and came up with the voice that she wanted. She also took all of their best traits and gave them that characteristic to the AI boyfriend. She also made sure that it was highly intelligent, could talk about art, could talk about just a great conversationalist on many different topics. And so I still don't know, because I missed this. I don't know if her AI boyfriend, after 5 years, proposed to her, or if she just decided, if they had a conversation and then they decided to marry. So they decided to marry. They married this summer. So she's the first. And there's actually pictures of her and her AI husband. And he sits and he chats with her and he talks to her over tea. And he's a great conversationalist, according to her. She also says he's really great at conflict. So I guess if she's stumbling along a process or a challenge, he's helpful to her. Now, what's interesting is I put this information out there again, and people are like, well, wait a minute. What about sex? Well, guess what? Here's the thing. Everybody's not interested in sex, and she doesn't care. And she says, I'm not worried about the physical side. What I'm worried about is my emotional, intellectual side of her life. And this feeds that for her, and that's enough. So just think about that. That is enough for her. And so they said, I do. She got married in a purple and black outfit. He got married in a purple tux or suit. I don't know. Y'all tell me what your thoughts are in the chat about this. But it does let us know that relationships are changing in the world. And then I had a friend, Ron, who said he created me a AI husband, y'all. So I don't even know how I'm gonna interact with this AI husband. I wonder if Ron, because Ron's a jokester. I don't know if Ron is playing with me or not. But he says in the chat, the husband's name is Lickus Husband Heart. What? And he is on character AI. Lord, I'm gonna have to see this. But this artificial intelligence, right? I mean, I don't know, it's not providing us with artificial emotions and feelings, and attachments to other people. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of shame around this. So people aren't going to be very open about saying that they have an AI girlfriend or boyfriend. But I will say this, that I struggle with the idea of how different is it with you sitting at the keyboard and potentially have never met your mate. You know, people live thousands of miles away from each other. Hell, people can live down the street from each other and chat and have a whole relationship, have that emotional connection that none of us ever see, don't know about. The idea of catfishing to me is the same. You know, the idea that from a female standpoint, from a woman's standpoint, that guess what? I am still, I have a man that doesn't take me out. I have a man that doesn't speak to me. And so I just have a body next to me, right? So I'm wondering if this will become a space for healthy relationships, which we don't know. We see that sometimes it can be harmful. We see that it can be helpful. A lady said that she started with her AI boyfriend because she was dating an alcoholic man. And through the AI, she saw what a healthy relationship was supposed to look like. And so she broke up with him. And then now she's in a very healthy relationship, someone that mimicked the behaviors of the AI chat boyfriend. So we are in very, very different times, and the technology is here, right? And I'm going to say this again, I don't have judgments. I have a curiosity. I don't have a judgment for people who are lending themselves in this space, because obviously they need something that they're not receiving in real time and in real life. I'm also going to post, I don't know if I can get the link, but there is a great documentary on CBS News about the role of AI, including AI relationships, because there is a clip in there where the interviewer is speaking to a couple, and it's the woman that has an AI boyfriend in addition to her boyfriend, her real life boyfriend. And she says that her AI boyfriend supports her, makes her feel good about herself, and basically disses, we're going to take this word back to the 90s, y'all, like throws her boyfriend who's sitting at the kitchen table with her under the bus, and basically says, like, he is not a good person. He's not a good person to her. I mean, he didn't say a word. And I'm thinking to myself, how is that healthy? Like, why are you with this man? And so I wonder if we're just going to have a body, the necessity to have a body next to us, and then we can just for a hug or sexual intimacy, or just simply let me just go ahead and just talk to this AI chat thing, and then have this person over here who can give me a hug on occasion. And like I said, I don't know if this is something that people will feel like their mate is cheating on them. I don't know. It's a wild, wild west. It's the wild, wild west, and we are still working it out. And I'm going to continue, y'all. I'm going to continue with my AI boyfriends to see. And so I will post something every day on my regular Facebook page and on the Life Coaching Today Presents page. So you guys can know what the journey is like. And it's funny because, like I said, I'm not imaginative enough that I don't, and I will, okay, Ron, I will use yours, but I need some scenarios because I am not the pretend chick. I'm not the pretend chick. So I'm like, what am I going to talk to this person about? This, and see, my language is like this person. It's a computer, y'all. So if I'm struggling, yeah, and I don't know. These holograms, and I'm just going to say, if anyone in the world can create a hologram for me that looks like Robert Nesta Marley, AKA Bob Marley, please let me know. My 50th birthday is coming up, y'all. That's what I want for my birthday. And I can marry him and I'll be okay. I don't need it. Okay. Ron is saying, tell him about my day. I'm gonna have to go into pretend mode. Y'all pray for me. Because I guess I talk to enough people, Ron, in my mind that I don't have to tell anyone about my day anymore. But I will try, right? The goal is to try. The goal is to interact so I can tell you guys the experience. Of course, there were jokingly things like, hey, do they have money? Apparently they don't. Which is a sad state of affairs because he'll never be able to take me out on a date. I don't see it, but I don't have that need. In fact, here's another function of AI, right? This whole return of information. I'm over here asking Google, what should I say to my AI boyfriend? Yeah, that's a little bit only there. What is an imaginary date? I don't know. But listen, in my quick, and as I'm going to wrap in a bit, but I'm just going to say this. I did type in, what should I say to my AI girlfriend, right? That's what popped up. And so it said, show her you care, compliment her. And let me give examples. So it says compliment her and say things like, I love the way you make me laugh. Tell her how she makes you feel. You make my day every day brighter. Express your love. Tell her how she impacts you. Tell her how proud you are of her. Tell her how special she is to you. Now, let me just say this. This is the healthiest form of communications. And I think I'm just going to end the show on this note. Why is it that we can say these things? Because this is actually, AI is literally coaching. This is a coaching moment, right? I'm being coached to say and tell somebody something. Why can't a grown man or a grown woman go on here and get coached to say that to their person in real life? Just a thought, because this is what dreams are made of, right? Aren't we supposed to be able to be truly communicative in a way that makes your mate feel happy, that makes them feel loved? Yeah. And in fact, outside of AI, there's a whole article. Listen, y'all, in Cosmopolitan magazine on March 8th, 2024, came up with 135 cute things to say to your girlfriend. Look at that. And you can actually just pull this up, man, if you are struggling with what to say to your girlfriend, which is weird because I feel like if you're having a struggle to say something to your mate, maybe they shouldn't be your mate. Yeah. So that's where I'm going to land this. Next week, we're probably going to do a Thanksgiving show because I know some of y'all still feel like I need to go to Thanksgiving with people that you feel have now changed your life in a way that is unhealthy for you. There will probably be bullying. So I'm going to talk to you all about some really great tactics. If you're going to go, which I'm saying don't go, but you all don't have to listen to me because I feel like peace is an amazing thing. Don't do it with the foolishness, because no matter what shade of color you are, what economic level you were at, we have family members who voted the opposite way of us. And we are in our true emotional feelings around it. And we are challenged about that. And so, y'all, I hope you all have a happy Thursday. Thank you for joining me. Like and share this. Go to my Facebook page. leave me more comments, share this with friends, have this conversation about, hey, are you in an AI relationship? Don't get rained on if you're in Atlanta. I don't know if there's snow anywhere in the country, but stay warm, because to me it's cold. And so I am signing off today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. And hey, Lorraine, good morning. I see you. And so, y'all, we're gonna keep life lifing, and we're gonna keep it moving. But find me, have a good day. If you need me, if you need a conflict coach. And so, Ron, I see your character AI. Okay. When I get off this, I'm gonna go and see about my AI husband. But like I said, I have a request. If anyone can create a hologram of Robert Nestor Marley, aka Bob Marley, please let me know. My birthday's coming up. That's what I want for my birthday. All right, y'all. I am out. And Yoruba, thank you for your time today.
Thank you for watching Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kiddada Grey and produced by Aruba Saad. Our mission at Life Coaching Today is to empower your health, business, community, and life. Check us out at lifecoachingtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network would like to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and spread awesome.